Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today's recipe is going to be vegan gyoza, and I actually filmed this recipe at my friend Saska's house. She's a vegan YouTuber as well, so I'll leave her channel somewhere so you can check that out. Basically for the gyoza we'll be using tofu to make it meat free, and I'll also show you how to make the dipping sauce that goes really well with it. So yeah, let's get straight to the recipe.
Put 400 grams of tofu on a plate, then put another plate over the top and rest a lot of heavy items on the top plate for a few hours, and this is going to help squeeze out as much moisture from the tofu to prevent it from being soggy in the gyoza, and then remove all the water that comes out. I'm also using shiitake mushrooms. I'm using dried ones just because they last a long time, and I use these to make my soup stock for udon and miso soup. So to rehydrate these, it's really easy. You just grab a handful and pour some hot water over the top and just let it rehydrate for 10 to 20 seconds. Then I'm going to squeeze the water out of them and chop them finely. And make sure you chop all the ingredients as finely as you can, as we don't want to have chunky gyoza filling. And we're also going to add around 2 centimeters of grated ginger, 1 bunch of spring onion, a few cloves of garlic, and 1/8 of a cabbage, either regular or Savoy. And you can play around with the ratios of each ingredient. You can also add some wild garlic as well if you have any, and set this aside as we continue to prep the tofu. So take the tofu and crumble it into very small pieces, and you want to pan fry it for around 10 to 15 minutes on medium heat to remove any extra water. So try to use a non-stick pan with no oil, as we don't want the tofu to be crispy, we just want to remove more moisture from it. And at the end, I like to add around 1 tablespoon of sesame oil for flavor. Don't substitute other oils, as we want the specific flavor of the sesame. Then I'm adding the vegetable mixture to the tofu, and I'm just going to stir that for a minute or so to mix it through and just to get rid of any excess moisture in the vegetables. But you don't need to do this. You can pretty much just add the tofu to the raw vegetables in a big bowl as well. Also, if you can, chop your spring onions and cabbage literally as finely as you can. Mine wasn't that fine, only because I just had a little knife at the time, but yeah, definitely the finer the better. Then add around 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, around half a tablespoon of salt, some white pepper, 1 tablespoon of cornstarch or breadcrumbs to bind everything, and a tablespoon of sesame oil for more flavor. Now we're going to wrap the gyoza filling, so make sure you've got gyoza wrappers specifically, and try and find the thinnest ones, around 1 millimeter or less. Then place a teaspoon of the filling into each gyoza wrapper. If you put too much in, you won't be able to fold it over. Then dip your finger in some water and draw a semicircle around half of the gyoza. And then fold the gyoza over, and then start making small folds in one direction with the side facing you. So this is the dry side, the side we didn't wet, and then squeeze everything together to seal it, and just repeat this with all of them. This recipe makes quite a lot. It serves around 3 to 4 people, so if it's too much you can halve it, or you can store the leftover filling in the fridge and wrap the gyoza the day you want to make them. Next, heat a pan on medium heat and add around 1 tablespoon of oil. My mom always uses brown rice oil as it has a higher smoke point, but if you don't have any, you can use olive oil. Make sure the oil is really hot in the pan, and then add the gyoza, and it should sizzle straight away. And we're going to leave them like this for a few minutes to get a little bit crispy. And then after a few minutes, add 1/3 cup of water. Then close the lid straight away, and we're going to let the whole thing steam on medium heat for around 10 minutes. Make sure you never move the gyoza or flip them. You just want to let them sit on the pan the whole time so that they get crispy on one side. Whilst they're steaming, let's go make the sauce. So it's really easy. All you do is add 1 part soy sauce and 1 part apple cider vinegar. Or you can use white vinegar, but I find apple cider has a softer taste. back to the gyoza after they've steamed for about 10 minutes. Take the lid off and add 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. And we're just gonna let this crispen up for a few minutes, and you can turn the heat up a little bit more if you want. And we're gonna do this until the bottom is dark brown and crispy. And it's okay if they get a little bit burnt, it still tastes really good. The gyoza should be soft and translucent, but crispy underneath. And if the gyoza skins look really thick white like porcelain, then the skins were probably too thick, or you didn't add enough water, or maybe you didn't steam them long enough. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the recipe, and I'll see you next video.
Does he look like he's comfy? So that was the video. Thanks for watching. Make sure you give it a like and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!